You know that moment when your cat, after ghosting you all day, finally decides to curl up right next to you and suddenly the whole world goes quiet? Your breathing slows, the mental chatter fades. For the first time since you opened your eyes this morning, you actually feel your body settle. If that scene hits you right in the chest, this one's going to make you feel deeply understood. Let me ask you something. When your cat deliberately knocks your coffee mug off the table, locks eyes with you, and doesn't even blink, do you get annoyed? Or do you just respect the sheer nerve? If you picked the second option, welcome. You're about to discover exactly why your nervous system is wired the way it is. Here's the truth almost no one says out loud about being a cat person. It's not really a personality quirk. It's about how your nervous system regulates itself in a noisy, demanding world. Some people recharge through action and connection. They thrive on external input, constant feedback, play, structure. Dogs are tailor-made for them. They seek you out, mirror your energy, keep things moving. But other nervous systems regulate best through calm, predictability, and zero pressure to perform. A cat doesn't charge towards you to offload excitement. It chooses a spot, settles in, and quietly invites you to do the same. There's no expectation to react, entertain, or manage anyone's emotional state. For anyone whose days spent scanning, anticipating, and self-monitoring, that kind of presence is medicine. When someone says, "I can't handle dogs, they're too intense," they're describing sensory overload. When they say cats are peaceful, they're describing nervous system regulation. Cat people aren't avoiding closeness. They're choosing environments that let their bodies downshift, lower the constant alert level, and rest without having to put on a show. Once you see it that way, everything clicks. The bond cat lovers feel isn't just soothing, it's profoundly safe in a way human relationships frequently aren't. Human connection usually comes loaded. Unspoken rules about response time, emotional mirroring, reassurance, matching intensity. Even love carries expectations. Why aren't you more affectionate? Why don't you need me the same way I need you? For highly sensitive, observant, or easily overstimulated people, that ongoing negotiation can be exhausting. Cats don't play by those rules. A cat never assumes it owns your attention. Its affection is given freely, never demanded. When it climbs onto your lap, it's not expecting small talk, deep eye contact, or an emotional performance. And when it walks away, it doesn't demand an explanation. That mutual respect for personal space creates something rare, intimacy without invasion. Studies on human-cat interactions show that cat lovers aren't avoiding attachment, they're avoiding pressure. They crave closeness that unfolds organically, without urgency or obligation. Cats demonstrate exactly that. They show through their behavior that secure bonding doesn't require constant proof or performance. With cats, affection is earned and sustained through quiet attunement. You learn to read the smallest cues, a tail flick, a slight ear shift, a change in breathing rhythm. Over time, that builds a relationship grounded in respect rather than control. Consent is baked into the dynamic. For anyone who's experienced boundary violations, physical, emotional, or otherwise, this matters on a very deep level. Before thought, before words, before an emotion even has a label, there is regulation. And cats have a secret superpower for it: purring. The frequency, 25 to 150 hertz, instinctively signals safety to the mammalian nervous system. Before your mind registers, "I feel calm," your body is already responding. Heart rate slows, breathing deepens, muscle tension eases, cortisol levels drop. Low, rhythmic sounds tell the brain no immediate threat, no action required, just presence. For people who spend most of their waking hours managing emotional climates, other people's and their own, this kind of effortless regulation is gold. Silence can feel hollow, noise can feel overwhelming, but the steady vibration of a purr lands perfectly in the middle. That's why so many cat lovers describe an almost inexplicable sense of grounding. They don't feel hyped up, they feel settled, like their internal rhythm has finally synced with the outside world. It's co-regulation without dialogue, comfort without script, and the body remembers quickly. Once it learns that a certain presence brings it back to baseline, attachment follows naturally. Now, about the cat people are smarter thing. Yes, some studies show cat lovers score higher on measures of intelligence and openness to experience, but it's not because cats boost IQ, it's because certain traits cluster. Introverted, reflective, intellectually curious people tend to gravitate toward low-demand companionship that doesn't derail long stretches of focused thought. Cats don't derail concentration, they coexist with it. Writers, artists, philosophers, and deep thinkers historically have been drawn to cats not because cats make you brilliant, but because they protect the quiet conditions intelligence needs to breathe. Modern culture treats solitude like a problem to solve. Quiet gets labeled as loneliness, but for cat people, quiet is where clarity happens. There's also a biological reason a cat, an efficient solitary hunter, triggers an almost irrational urge to protect it. Your brain lights up to the baby schema. Large eyes relative to face, rounded head, small nose, soft movements. When those features register, caretaking instincts fire before conscious reasoning kicks in. Domestic cats hit that schema almost perfectly. When a cat gazes up at you, your brain reads infant, not predator. For many cat lovers, this one-way nurturing feels uniquely safe. Care flows outward without constant expectation of emotional reciprocity. The cat doesn't demand you be upbeat. It doesn't need reassurance. It doesn't monitor your mood. For people who learned early to contain their emotions, giving care without having to receive it can feel far less threatening than the reverse. But the deepest truth about cat people isn't really about cats at all. It's about the nervous system you were born with and the kind of world it feels safest inside. If cats draw you in, it doesn't mean you're cold or detached. It means you're wired for nuance, for presence without demand, for connection that doesn't require constant output. Cats don't ask you to perform. They don't test your loyalty. They don't mistake intensity for closeness. They simply share space with you. And for some people, that quiet companionship is exactly what lets them feel human again. We love beings that don't need us, and in a culture obsessed with being indispensable, that choice is quietly radical. Cat people have chosen to love something that stays, not out of necessity, but out of preference. So, the next time your cat ignores you for 6 hours and then demands lap time like it's their birthright, remember, you're not just a cat owner. You're someone whose nervous system finally found the exact frequency it needed to rest without shutting down. Your cat didn't just pick you, your body picked your cat. If this resonated deep in your bones, hit subscribe. And if you'd like to help keep these honest, no-filter explorations alive, the join button for channel membership is right there. It truly means the world. I've got more coming, videos that dive into these same psychological layers. I think you'll feel right at home in them too. See you soon.